There's this song by Pink. It was released a few years ago, and I want to read you some lyrics from that song. LA told me you'll be a pop star. All you have to change is everything you are. Tired of being compared to damn Britney Spears. She's so pretty, that just ain't me. So, this brings us to a very important lesson in this video. You know, there's some things you can change in terms of dating. That doesn't mean you want to change everything. That doesn't mean you should change everything. In fact, some things you think you should change because you think it will get you better success with women, perhaps you don't want to change them because they're not going to help if you do. And on top of that, it's like destroying your personality, destroying the things you actually like, or it's just, changing you into a completely different person. And, you know, especially for long-term relationships, that's not going to be what you truly want. And so defining these things are important. What don't you have to change? Well, I think one of the biggest things is interests. This is something that you can keep for sure, and it's something that you can own. And if you can own it and just show the person that you're interested in, hey, I like video games, what you're going to do about it, and just own it, you can keep it. This is one of those things I think is a huge misconception. People think that they have to lie about what they're interested in, or say something like, oh, I don't like this or that. I think that's complete BS. If you can just own what you're interested in, it can work very well. Um, are there people who, it may look better if you like certain things? Potentially, but first off, a lot of people, especially females, are very good at picking up you faking something. So it's just going to work against you when they detect that you're faking an interest. On top of that, you're destroying yourself, you're becoming someone you're not, and it's this whole mess. So interests are one thing that I don't think you need to change, and if you own it, I do think that it can come off very attractive. Now, what else should you consider not changing? Well, let's talk about looks real quick. Looks, I do think to a certain degree, it can be helpful to work on them. And everything from style to fitness and health, um, I definitely think people notice and they do factor it in for sure to some degree when they're looking for someone. And it's statistically proven to be helpful to a certain extent. At the same time, I also understand that it is probably fourth or fifth on the list of things that are important. And especially for men, many other things can overshadow someone's looks. If you can look at least average, there are plenty of things that can be done to get you the girl rather than working on your looks. There's so many things: personality, charisma, confidence, good grooming, good hygiene, style, ambition, respect. A lot of things that can definitely overshadow a guy who isn't model handsome. In fact, this is one of those things I would gladly take being average looking and having an average body versus having the inability to increase my personality. I don't want to phrase that wrong. Not increase my personality, but like work on other areas of my life that can be helpful for a girl. So I do think that looks to a certain extent can be improved, but again, you know, if you take it to an extreme, like, okay, I need to get this physique or I need this certain level, I think it's a horrible mentality and I don't think it's true at all either. So again, there's that. Another thing is how you look, I think is important. So I am a nerd for sure. Just based off how I grew up, how I am, and so forth. I like nerdy things. I, through my life and my experiences, have a lot of nerdy hobbies and stuff like that. I do think it shows in my look as well. I do think for to a certain extent, I would like to keep that. I don't want to completely become this character or this appearance of someone I'm not or someone I don't want to be. And if for whatever reason I do take on like an appearance that doesn't shout nerd, I for one am never going to uh, pretend or lie or not hide the fact, or excuse me, hide the fact that I'm nerdy. And again, this is something I do think you should own. And it goes back to those lyrics I started this video with. You don't want to change everything you are, because then it's like, well, did you really just strip away everything that you are as an identity to suit someone else's image? That's not what you want. That's just like completely destroying yourself for or someone else, and that's not worth it. So I do think this goes back to the whole thing that a lot of females give as advice: be yourself. I don't think they have good intentions, but it's not good advice. Be yourself, because a lot of guys have been being themselves and they've been failing with women, and a lot of guys are very frustrated when females give that advice. It's like, be myself. I've been being myself for the last 2 decades of my existence or whatever, and it hasn't been working. So that advice is useless. But they, generally, I understand where they're coming from. They have good intentions. What they're saying is, what their real intentions are is they're saying, don't fake it. Don't fake someone you're not, because one, it's highly detectable if you're faking it, and two, uh, those are things that oftentimes, what they're focusing on is certain stuff about how you are inside, like your deep interests in nerdy things. Those sort of things, changing them will not help at all, and it's completely fine to be, like how you are, and like those things. Now, what things can you change? As a brief overview, I do think that um, working on social skills and conversational skills can be very useful. Sometimes, um, slight tweaks in your mindset and perspective. For instance, uh, going out and meeting amazing people rather than, oh, I have to get this person interested in me. Those can be helpful. Also, just getting better at your social skills can be tremendously useful. And this spans a bunch of things: not coming across creepy, not being weirdo, uh, having the courage to talk to people. These things I definitely think can help. So that's generally what I want to say in a nutshell. And you will have to really explore this on your own and figure out for yourself, well, what things should I change? What things should I never change? Why? And are certain things worth changing? And will this even help if I change it? So you have to explore that on your own. And again, leave any comments down below. Perhaps I can help. And I'll see you in my next video.